Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the channel. Let me first start by saying over 90% of those who watch my videos are not actually subscribed. Please take this moment to support the channel by subscribing below. Without further ado, I'm going to show you all 3 different ways to create a circle in your mesh using Maya 2024. So what I have here are 3 flat planes to demonstrate the 3 different ways we can create circles in our mesh. The first way we can create a circle in our mesh in Maya is by using a cylinder. As you can see, this is a flat plane. I'm going to go ahead and add a cylinder to our viewport. Next, I'm going to rotate this cylinder by selecting the cylinder and pressing E on the keyboard. In our channel box editor, I'm going to enter the number 90 in the rotate X field. This will give us a perfect rotation of 90 degrees. Then, in the channel box editor, under inputs, I'm going to change the subdivision axis to 12, just to give us less to have to adjust. I am then going to delete out the back side of this cylinder so it is also a flat plane. I am then going to move this cylinder over to the front of our demo flat plane. You can check the front view by hitting spacebar to get out of perspective view, hovering over the front panel, and hitting spacebar again. I am then going to select both objects and switch to vertex mode in the modeling toolkit. To align all of the vertices, I'm going to click R on the keyboard for scale. Then, by holding and dragging this yellow square, I'm just going to smash them all together so that they are flat. Now, looking back at the front of our mesh, I'm going to turn on the wireframe mode so we can see the edges of our flat cylinder. On the keyboard, I'm going to hold down Shift, right-click on our mouse, and scrub over to Insert Edge Loop. Instead of selecting Insert Edge Loop, let's go ahead and hit the square right next to Insert Edge Loop. This is going to prompt our option box. I'm going to start inserting edge loops in the exact locations that the edge loops are on our flat cylinder. Now, holding Shift, right-clicking on your mouse, and going to multi-cut, we are going to start cutting out the shape of the cylinder into our plane. Now, if I were to actually just hide this flat cylinder, you will see that our flat demo plane now has that exact shape of the cylinder cut into our mesh. Now all we need to do is select the faces that are inside of this newly cut shape of our mesh and delete them out. After deleting, if you press the number 3 on your keypad, you will now see this in a smooth preview. I'm just going to go ahead and select this new edge loop we've created within our mesh, and holding Shift plus right-clicking on the mouse, I'm going to go to Extrude, and I'm going to add an interior face loop to protect our new shape. So this wraps up the first way that we can create a circle in our mesh. We're now going to go to the second way of creating a circle in our mesh. Okay, so for the second way of creating a circle in our mesh, I'm just going to go ahead and hide this first plane we were working on and focus in on the second one. In this second way of creating a circle in our mesh, we're going to go ahead and use the chamfer vertex option. I am actually going to insert some edge loops into this flat plane. I'm going to do 3 horizontal edges and 3 vertical edges. This is going to help with our demonstration. I'm going to select the vertex right in the middle of this plane, hold Shift plus right click, and go to chamfer vertex. As you can see, the chamfer vertex option has changed that one vertex that we selected into 4 vertices. I am just going to go ahead and select these 4 vertices and kind of scale them out to make it bigger for this demonstration. Then, in the modeling toolkit, I'm going to switch over to face mode and select that interface. With that interface selected, I'm going to go ahead and hold Shift, right click, and add divisions to faces. Now you will see that one interface that we had selected has now changed to 4 faces. And with those 4 faces selected, I'm going to hold Shift on my keyboard, right click, and go to Circleize Components. This option has circularized the 4 faces that we had selected. But since we went ahead and circularized those components, we now have some n-gons, or in other words, faces with more than 4 sides. We will need to adjust this. To fix these n-gons, I'm just going to select the vertices on the edges, and I'm going to connect these by holding Shift on my keyboard, right click, and connect component. We will do this for all 4 faces that are n-gons. If we go to Mesh Cleanup, you will now see that we have cleaned up those n-gons to make them triangles or quads. Now all I'm going to do is go to Face Mode in the Modeling Toolkit. I'm going to select those 4 faces. I'm going to extrude by hitting Shift on the keypad, right click, and extrude. I'm just going to add a barrier to protect that inner shape that we just created. We have now wrapped up the second way of creating a circle in your mesh by circularizing components. We are now going to move on to the third way of creating a circle in your mesh, and that is with a Boolean. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and unhide the third plane for this demo and hide the first 2 so we can focus in on this third way of creating a circle with a Boolean. I'm going to go ahead and add a cylinder to our viewport again and rotate that 90 degrees, scale it up, and move it over to the front of our flat plane. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the number of subdivisions on our cylinder again so that we don't have as many edges or vertices to work with. Then, by selecting the cylinder first and the plane second, I'm going to go up to the Mesh menu, Boolean, and Difference B to A. Once we do that, you will see that the shape of the cylinder has been automatically cut through our plane. Again, this method does create some n-gons, so we're going to want to go ahead and use the multi-cut tool to adjust these shapes. You can go ahead and delete out those extra edges that were initially cut when we created the Boolean. And we should now have some clean geometry with a circle cut into our mesh. Just like we did with the previous two ways of creating a circle in your mesh, I'm just going to go ahead and select that newly created edge. I'm going to extrude and add us a face loop as a barrier to protect that inner circle. And that wraps up the three ways that we can create a circle within our mesh. We have done this creating a cylinder. We've done it by circularizing components. And the third way we did it was by adding a Boolean. So if you're still here with me, I hope that you were able to learn from this video. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and comment on any additional tools or techniques you'd like me to go through in Maya 2024. Thanks for watching.